As an automotive journalist, it's my job to wake up at the crack of dawn, but normally that's to see the world through my windscreen. Lately, I've been seeing it on this screen. I've had enough. It's time to get back into the great outdoors, take a road trip. Now, normally when I go through a place, it's just in and out and I never get time to explore. This place has been on my bucket list for a long time. Let me show you why. This is Rajasthan. Vibrant, grand, and where you live life, king size. Planning a road trip in Rajasthan is not easy. Don't get me wrong, it's only because there's so much to see that it can get confusing. But here's a route that will give you a taste of just about everything. From Udaipur via Ajmer to Savai Madhopur, it's one that gives you the opulence, the history, and a bit of adventure. With all the pampering so far and the searing heat, I chose the comfort of the cool A8 to head to the city palace, which is actually just a couple of 100 meters away, so well within walking distance in cooler weather. Now, with the COVID pandemic, wearing a mask in all public places is best. And so you will see me through this video at various places with the mask. I only took it off to speak to you in open spaces with adequate social distancing. What I'm standing in front of is a wonderful, wonderful piece of history. This city palace began construction in 1553 and took over 400 years to build. It belongs to the Mewar family, who still own a part of it today. It also houses a really interesting museum, and this place is a must visit if you are in Udaipur. The complex actually houses several palaces, and it's the largest in Rajasthan. With a fusion of local and Mughal architecture, the city palace offers a complete panorama of the city on one side and the lake palace on the other. While history is amazing, the city palace is a little special because its current owner, Arvind Singh Mewar, is also a car aficionado and houses a little vintage car museum a short distance away, which is worth a visit. The museum holds several amazing cars like a Ford A convertible, the Pebble Beach winning Rolls Royce, and the pièce de résistance, which was for me a rare right-hand drive Opel Kadett. There's just so much to pack into a day. But as the sun was setting, a leisurely cruise on the Lake Pichola with its beautiful backdrops of the Fateh Prakash Palace and Jug Mandir, as well as the Lake Palace, is just the perfect way to end the day and watch the sun go down. But when you stay at Lake Palace, the magic doesn't stop there. A royal dinner under the stars with the lights of the shoreline twinkling in. So much of our life has been spent in front of a screen these days. But it's so refreshing to be out where it is 70 mm live right in front of you with spectacular views like this. I mean, it is fabulous. Udaipur is a great place to start a road trip in Rajasthan. The city has so much to offer. But there's also so much around it to see, and that's where we're headed off to tomorrow. Now, as you can see, I'm getting used to this luxe life. Living in a palace, well, my road trip then has to be in a luxury car. The beauty of the lake city of Udaipur is the abundance of day trips that one can do while basing themselves in the city. One such trip, which is a must, is to Kumbhalgarh Fort, just about 85 kilometers away. The road to Kumbhalgarh from Udaipur is a beautiful country road once you turn off from the city. And it winds its way along the majestic Aravalli hills, making it a very scenic drive. Sitting in the Audi A8 is like travelling first class, and the car floated along the road, its ride cocooning me in comfort as I watched the beautiful view from the panoramic sunroof and the large rear windows, all while being pampered with a massage in my seat and some chilled drinks from the in-car refrigerator. Soon enough, I was at the massive gate to the fort. And if there's ever a way to feel minuscule, this is it. To enter the fort in the current scenario, strict protocols for COVID were followed and tickets had to be downloaded online with zero contact. The majestic fort you see behind me is India's second largest fort. Now, this was built by Rana Kumbha, and so it's called Kumbhalgarh Fort. It's just a 2-hour drive away from Udaipur, so really easy to access. And the thing to note about this fort is its 36-kilometer long wall that surrounds it. It took over 100 years to build, and it is the second largest in the world. As the sun set, we headed back, and this time via the longer route that cuts through the wildlife sanctuary that surrounds the fort. Sun had set on another exciting day in Rajasthan, and what a way we ended it with a stunning view of the Lake Palace from the windows of the Fateh Prakash Hotel. It is a part of the City Palace complex, and a meal at this Taj Hotel is a must, as the chef is the same one that cooked for the royal family, and his traditional Rajasthani lal mas is one of the best you can find in all of Rajasthan. For me, it was time to pack my bags and head out to Ajmer, but not before indulging in some shopping. The marketplace, with its narrow streets lined with shops bearing all kinds of handicrafts from the region, is delightful. I was pulled in by one gentleman into his shop to try out nail art. The intricacy of the tiny squiggles of black and white that slowly turned into an elephant, camel and a horse. The symbols for good luck, love and power in Rajasthan left me quite amazed. After a morning well spent and an empty wallet, I headed to Ajmer. If you are heading out of Udaipur on this road, then a stop at the uniquely designed Dhaba Logi is a must. Not only is it an intriguing place to visit with its crazily painted walls and funny messages, it also houses some classic cars, and it has the most delicious local meals. Just out of Udaipur is probably one of Rajasthan's most popular places of pilgrimage, Nathdwara, a temple dedicated to Lord Krishna. Unfortunately, with the COVID pandemic, the temple was closed and we didn't go in. But we did see the fine paintings of the Lord which are sold along the way. The detailed intricacy of these paintings that are done with watercolor and gold on cloth is a skill that is handed down from generation to generation and something to be seen. After a small walk around the area, we also drove around what is the world's largest statue of Lord Shiva that has been recently built at Nathdwara and stands 351 feet high. A short distance from Nathdwara, just about 16 kilometers away, is Rajasthan Lake. We were told it was worth a visit, so we made another detour from our route to get there. It's a man-made lake covering an area of 14 square kilometers. Yes, it's massive, and it looks more like a sea than a lake. From Rajasthan to Ajmer, the drive is about 4 hours, and the large, well-surfaced highway is a very comfortable and easy run. With all our stops and exploration along the way, we drove into Ajmer in the dark. Most hotels follow strict COVID protocols these days, and Taj hotels are no less. At Pratap Mahal, it was the regular sanitizing of bags, health declaration forms, and I didn't realize how much I missed being out on the road and driving on this route of revival of our passion of driving, getting the wheels turning, being out on the road again, has made me realize how wonderful it is to be on a road trip. And being in Rajasthan with some great roads, a great car, and a place like this, well, it's making me feel like a queen. The next morning, we set off for a bit of a pilgrimage to a dargah that is considered a very holy site in India. The streets leading up are typical, with the tons of shops that sell head coverings, that's mandatory, and offerings for the prayers. The Ajmer Sharif Dargah is a Sufi shrine that is constructed out of white marble and has the tomb of revered Saint Moinuddin Chishti. He was a well-known mystic and charismatic spiritual leader, and writings on him talk of spiritual travel, clairvoyance and visions that led him to be declared a saint. In the modern day, this place is famous as it's believed that whatever you wish for within these walls will come true. With a lot to think about and feeling blessed, I headed out back on the road again. A great place to stay is the colonial Vivanta Madhapur Lodge. It makes you feel like you've stepped back in time. The veranda of the hotel is a great place to wake up with a nice cup of coffee as you hear the birds chirping. Well, not chirping, but creating a rather loud morning alarm telling everyone it's time to wake up and head for a safari. And that's just what we did. Savai Madhapur is a great place for tiger sighting in the massive Ranthambore National Park, once the hunting grounds for the former Maharaja of Jaipur. It is a major wildlife park now that houses over 40 species of mammals, 35 species of reptiles and 320 species of birds. We were lucky enough to enjoy a sighting of a tiger just a couple of feet away from us. And very often, it will be as you straddle across a few of the open safari vehicles, as stepping on the ground is strictly forbidden. I would have climbed across many more for a sighting like this. As we stood and stared, the tigress remained unperturbed and only got up for a short stroll to turn around and lie down again. We could have spent hours watching, but everyone had to have a turn. Adrenaline levels were high and the smile across my face couldn't be wiped out, especially as we also spotted crocodiles, sambars, spotted deer, the snake bird, herons and more. What a glorious way to spend the morning, and well worth the 4:30 a.m. alarm. What a wonderful road trip this has been, from Udaipur to Ajmer to Savai Madhapur. Palaces, lakes, scenic beauty, spirituality, wildlife and great driving roads. There is something for just about everyone.